Hi friends, let me introduce myself at the outset. I am Sanjay Rao from New Delhi, India. Today I will demystify the concepts on criminal force and assault. Section 349 of the IPC says that a person is said to use force to another. First, if he causes any motion, change of motion or cessation of motion to another. Or second, if he causes to any substance such motion, change of motion or cessation of motion as brings that substance into contact A with any part of that other's body, or B with anything which that person is wearing or carrying, or C with anything so situated that such contact affects that other's sense of feeling, provided that he does so in any of the three following ways. First, by using his own bodily power. It contemplates the presence of the person using force and the person to whom the force is used. Second, if by disposing any substance in such a manner that motion, change of motion, cessation of motion takes place without any act on his part or on the part of any other person. Third, by inducing an animal to move, to change its motion or to cease to move. Section 350 of the IPC defines the term criminal force. A person uses criminal force to another if he intentionally uses force to another without his consent in order to the committing of any offense, or intending or knowing it to be likely by the use of such force to cause injury, fear or annoyance to any person to whom the force is used. The term criminal force in English law is called battery. The illustrations under section 350 exemplify the ingredients of the definition of term force given in section 349 of the IPC. Illustration A to section 350 of the IPC. Jed is sitting in a moorboat on a river. A unfastens the moorings and thus intentionally causes the boat to drift down the stream. Here A has caused motion to Jed by disposing such matter in such a manner that the motion is produced without any act on any person's part. Now A has used force to Jed, and if that force is created, that force is used by A without Jed's consent, or intending or knowing it to be likely that it will cause any offense, or by intending or knowing it to be likely that it will cause injury, fear or annoyance to Jed, A is said to have caused criminal force to Jed. Illustration B to section 350 of the IPC. Jed is riding in a chariot. A lashes Jed's horses, thereby causes the horses to quicken their pace. Here A has caused change of motion by inducing animal to change its motion. Here A has used force, but if A has used such force without Jed's consent, or in order to the committing of any offense, or without his consent, A has intentionally caused fear, injury or annoyance to Jed, A is said to have used criminal force to Jed. Illustration C to section 350 of the IPC says Jed is going in a palanquin. A, intending to rob Jed, seizes the pole and stops the palanquin. Here A has used cessation of motion, and if it has caused cessation of motion and it has used force by using his own bodily power. But if such force is used without that person's consent who is sitting in the palanquin, and in the committing of any offense, A is said to have used criminal force to Jed. Illustration D to section 350 of the IPC says A intentionally pushes against Z in the street. Here A has by his own bodily power moved his own person so as to bring it into contact with Z. He has therefore intentionally used force to Z, and if he has done so without Z's consent, intending or knowing it to be likely that he may thereby injure, frighten, or annoy Z, A has used criminal force to Z. Illustration A to section 350 of the IPC says A throws a stone, intending or knowing it to be likely that the stone will be thus brought into contact with Z or with Z's clothing or with something carried by Z, or it will strike water and dash up the water against Z's clothes or something carried by Z. Here A has used force to Z, and if he has done so without Z's consent or to injure him, frighten him, or to annoy him, A is said to have used criminal force to Z. Now, illustration F to section 350 of the IPC says A intentionally pulls up a woman's veil. Here A intentionally uses force to her, and he does so without her consent or intending or knowing it to be likely that he may thereby injure, frighten, or annoy her. A is said to use criminal force against Z. Illustration G to section 350 of the IPC. Z is bathing. A pours into the bath water which he knows to be boiling. Here A intentionally by his own bodily power causes such motion in the boiling water as brings that water into contact with Z or with other water so situated that such contact must affect Z's sense of feeling. Here A has therefore used force to Z, and if he has done so without Z's consent or to annoy him, frighten him, or injure him, A is said to have used criminal force to Z. Illustration H of section 350 IPC says that A incites a dog to spring upon Z. Here A has done so without Z's consent or to frighten him, to annoy him, or to injure him. A is said to have used criminal force to Z. Section 351 of the illustration. I have given you beautiful illustration pertaining to criminal force. Now section 351 of the IPC defines the term assault. Section 351 of the IPC says whoever makes any gesture or preparation intending or knowing it to be likely that such gesture or preparation will cause any person present to apprehend that he who makes that gesture or preparation is about to use criminal force, to that person is said to commit an assault. There is an explanation appended to section 351 of the IPC, namely assault. Mere words do not amount to an assault, but the words which a person uses may give to his gestures or preparation such a meaning as may make those gesture or preparation amount to an assault. Illustration A to section 351 of the IPC says A shakes his fist at Z, intending or knowing it to be likely that he may thereby cause Z to believe that A is about to strike Z. A has committed an assault. Illustration B to section 351 of the IPC says that A begins to unloose the muzzle of a ferocious dog, intending or knowing it to be likely that he is about to cause the dog to attack Z. A has committed an assault upon Z. In order to constitute assault, it is not necessary that there should be some actual hurt caused. A threat constitutes assault. Intention or knowledge is the intention or knowledge is the gist of the offense of assault under section 351 of the IPC. Inadvertent recklessness, which means a failure to give thought to the possibility of risk involved in pursuing a course of action, is insufficient to amount to mens rea requisite for a conviction for assault. The apprehension of the use of criminal force must be from the person making gesture or preparation, and if that apprehension arises not from that person but from somebody else, it doesn't amount to assault on the part of that person. Further, criminal force cannot be said to be used by one person to another by causing change in the position of another human being, where therefore the accused himself did nothing which amounted to assault, and the accused simply made a gesture at which the followers advanced a little forward towards the complainant in a threatening manner. The accused is not held guilty. In every criminal force, assault is included, and the maximum punishment under section 352 of the IPC pertaining to assault or criminal offense, criminal force may extend up to 3 months or fine or both. Please like, share, subscribe and comment my video. Happy learning. Thanks. Break.